take a wild reindeer just for appearances. In case somebody wakes up while you're robbing the place. Wait, what the hell did the head face of a million lights get here? Why is everything instant? The lead produces the rest of Cindy Lou's established friends 39 minutes into the movie. And they'll get like a scene or two, gone forever after, except for a token appearance at the end. Why did you only spend time with the redheaded kid until now?
He's forgetting you're so fast, guys. Follow me.
And so Cindy Lou the biggest asshole leads the kids to the white maze to Santa, which I can't see here at all, so that's probably another thing. Anyway, she thinks up to the big guy and tells him that she's going to trap Santa. Then after the kids agree to whatever plan she says,
To the button.
that makes them walk back through the maze to the right. Just tell them at the gate, get on the plan already.
We're gonna trap Santa Claus.
I'm sorry, my ears can't register anything insane, unless it's said by Nicholas Cage. So the Grinch has a gray and black beanie with a magic scarf. I'm not the only one like this dog. I mean, why wear the candy cane stripe? That's not his green. That's the giraffe on it, the red. I see the Grinch with the red state mask wearing. When you translate the marks, it reads, you better come take a look at this. However, just ignore the dog, they also ignore the cliche. Down on the consultants in the largest counter by ignoring the cliche. And that means, holy, how did that dog get in the house so fast? The Grinch peeks into the room, and here comes Mr. Brickleball, presumably from the front door, which is now in front of him. For whatever reason, it caused me to wonder if this insane new house has multiple front doors, and this is a quick check tells me this door is the entry point of the home, where Brickleball brings the dog inside. Side window, front door, blue wall in the background. Great! Except where is the small window beside the front door? And opposite the door, the blue wall has been replaced by a massive fireplace. Is there a door on the other side of the house? Nope, this larger window, which should be the back side of the fireplace. From this angle, we can see into the dining room. There should be a goddamn slide from the dining room to the front door. And before you tell me the windows are higher up the walls. They are not. And there seem to be 2 additional windows and the room is shaped differently. That was clearly worth all the time I spent sitting here. Apparently nobody at the party sees it. Not even this woman who's got a front row seat to it. It's time to play these where the dog and the reindeer want to sleep in the bed with the Grinch. But I wonder what that other bedroom is being used for. There must be some serious negotiation and Grinch going on in that thing if they can't sleep there.
Now that is a great cup of coffee.
It's weird. I didn't even question the dog being able to make coffee, but I had so many about the wild reindeer being able to make it. Because of course there's a drone. There's still wreaths that need to be hung up around town. 2 days ago, the whole town looked wreathed out already, and they had multiple giraffe teams putting them on people's houses, shops like their first chance to be killed and they didn't. I know the mayor once 3 times for Christmas, but this reminds me of that time Christmas. Assistant manager in a theater in New York. A bunch of people spent weeks sprucing up this one theater for the Spider-Man 3 premiere, and every goddamn district manager descended on the place to tell everyone to clean something really stupid, just in case Sam Raimi or Tobey Maguire decided to do an all-points inspection before walking on the red carpet. The point is, you don't need this many reads. If one house doesn't have one, then Puritans don't get mad. This is a highly angry man who built it. When Rich was out all night getting a reindeer in a sleigh, then came home with a bed. This morning he woke up and Max, Rose, and Bill, and they just returned. How do things magically come into reality in this world? Why can't we see that movie? I mean, it has fucking lights.
But I can see the screen. Stop worrying. It'll be dark at night. What if he has a flashlight?
Rupert would be amazing at Cindy Lou's stupid plan says.
What do we have here?
Further proof that Cindy Lou was a repugnant evildoer. She asked her friend to tumble down a chimney rather than, I don't know, test the cookie trap. The cookie trap is so dangerous that it launches his clothing out of the window. In fact, that had been him, and nobody's pissed at Cindy Lou. Well, I am.
Do I still think no one likes living with a cookie?
You broke your phone. So I broke the rules. For the first time ever, new and current customers can save their old and damaged phones for up to $1,000 off our best 5G phones. Because at Verizon, the network is just the beginning.
I'm just gonna stop it, but
Stuck in your tiny little weenie. Nobody wants it now. And Rich did so much pimping.
I broke a world record. The highest blocks anyone ever flew up is the highest blocks is 23,000 blocks flown, and I have what, 26,000 now, so I'm down. God, this is gonna take a while. Okay.
but from now on, I want to have 50 cents for this slow motion bullshit they put in every single animated movie. The Fred was a very reindeer with a kid. Why did he so go back to the fridge earlier? I mean, this asshole acted like a lost puppy dog. Finally found a friend, and now we find out he's got responsibilities. The Grinch is showing he has a heart many times throughout the story. He's sweet to max, and in this moment he releases Fred to his family without much hesitation. Will it be such a leap to believe his heart will grow bigger? Does he really need music to push him over the edge? I mean, he's a sweet guy with a tragic backstory who doesn't want to be chased through the streets by Carolyn. Can't we all relate to that? By the way, they spent 15 minutes with this grader just so they could fall back on the original story where the Grinch could slap some antlers on Max and make him the reindeer. It's like the original cartoon Snyder Cut.
8 hours for Christmas morning. That's 20,800 seconds.
Here we go, Max. Let's see what you've got.
Yeah, little dog, your only hope. Wait, look, go doggy. Master hopes to see you struggle. Here's another Bruce Almighty movie. Rich, it's an amazing planning that we didn't see in this entire movie. Everything the movie showed so far is from being a public idiot that does everything half-assed. Then he whips out all this on us. I would have traded all that wasted time with the Fred on perfecting his inventions. This is house a studio model. Builds a house with a bedroom access by a hobbit everywhere. And he asshole will go to the window and see the inventions are so amazing. I'm wondering why like, why didn't he just set up another catapult and fire all the bags of toys back to his place? Or a sleigh with a bigger drum. And now we all pretend that not one who woke up during the great heist. Nobody had to piss in the night with nobody has restless leg syndrome or insomnia. Oh, sure, there's like one sleepwalker. Palpatine the whole time. Jesus, is this Jeff Bezos' house?
Oh, sure. Give me a minute.
City Lou's mom must be ready to go downstairs. Remind me, why does he still say the solution rather than walk down the hall and direct the village to a Meanwhile, Max struggles. Weight of the sleigh can grow the size of the legs. See, the Grinch could propel it down in the air and force Max to sway to his 10 Oh, so that's where my BMX dirt bike I asked Santa for when I was 12 went. Your twin brothers, not so much. Look, I understand how Bill is a utopian society where they believe the spirit of Christmas will I could argue that the very fact that these houses were packed to the gills with presents is a counter to that philosophy. But they're both tapping us here to say this. I've always wondered why the Loos don't even question how this happened. The fact of all their presents doesn't even make them wonder if there's someone out there who'd like to commit more crimes. That read your face movie, The Invention of Lying. The Invention of Criming. This works. I'm not saying I want to see the Grinch's legs roll backward until his heels touch his ear. I'm not saying you should hear the sound of his leg popping out of the socket or his television shattering. But I am saying he survives this. Oh, how about you? Why did Freddy even come back here at this moment? Arandro ex machina. Also, never mind that the sleigh full of gifts is probably a toad or two. Syphilitic reindeer and his family can drag this back with their teeth while digging into a snow-covered mountain while battling weak gravity. And so the Grinch is reunited with his beloved friend and immediately abandons him on the mountaintop. This story is great. Guys, nobody is pulling the sleigh. This thing is autonomous. I can't. I will give every cent back if they include the part where the Loos descend on the sleigh like flies and fight over who gets what. That's kinda ghetto. Considering you already have a squeaky toy, this should be no surprise to you. Why allow a small child to travel out of the village of a death-trapped cliffside pass covered in ice and snow to distant peaks? Good question! Glad that's the focus here. We suggest that City Lou came up here on her inflatable donut thing, forgetting that I know that entire trip was uphill.
Come on in. I'll show you around.
I think she forgot that it was in there already.
Oh, here, let me take that for you.
Too soon, Grinch, too soon.
It's my first Christmas dinner. What happens?
Turns out nothing happens.
Kindness and love. The things we need most.
Hey, Merry Christmas to us all. God bless us, everyone.
Oh my God, I shot my eye out.
For some reason, you all want to wear the Cinema Sins pitchfork M on your body. So we slapped that f***er on some new merch and threw it in the store. Toasters, hoodies, socks. Click on the merch below to YouTube.
Oh, I'm gonna ruin that moment.
across the sidewalk, sharply dropping lawsuits from the dozens of kids tripping on the wires. Look, I know it's chaotic and all, but you're telling me not one of these kids are paying attention to the uniformed police officer in the middle of the entryway? Did you by any chance pick up a home adapter thing?
No, I didn't have time to do that.
How am I supposed to shave in France? Peter ignores thousands of years of been shaving with alternatives to electric razors. They got those micro machines that are all over in there. Holy hell, don't shout out the micro machines. Commercials are on record as being one-third the inspiration for cinema sales. 2 cents off.
No package, please.
Who the hell would let an 8-year-old pack his own suitcase? I did that when I was 8 years old. Full of only red knives.
What's up? I broke a world record.
Oh yeah? How many executives does that person be?
No.
It's not one of your girls.
I flew the most highest rock ever recorded.
Nice.
What?
I feel like there's bullshit coming in. If I would have known how we didn't get up, I would have been very different. Sorry. Well, it's alright. We want to do your bullshit story.
The most highest record is 23,000 watts. They're at 25,000.
How do you know that that's going to be a 6
No. But like, I had my coordinates on and see my y-axis.
Wait, what?
What?
When I watched the science mystery.
Sorry.
It's fair.
Oh, my dad.
What is that?
Also, Kevin Lee makes a giant traps in his house. The suitcase is just too overwhelming.
All kids, no parents. How many pigs you want?
Harry forgets that he just saw a movement that all went by the door 2 minutes ago.
What the French call les incompetents.
Angela clearly got a hold of an entire French translation book, but this is the best insult she could come up with.
He has something to drink. He's gonna win the bet.
Everyone is giving this poor kid a massive amount of motivation to wish to spend Christmas alone. His family makes the Tenenbaums look like the Seavers. This is an orgy of evidence that this is a boy's room from the 90s. Like Jordan poster, check. Random sports equipment placed perfectly on a shelf, got it. Poster for King Babe, definitely. Time of your life board game, you bet. Wait, what?
Is it true that French babes don't shave their heads?
Also, what is Buzz worried about? He's 15 years old, looks like Nip Tannen's dirty little brother. He'd be getting any during his French holiday.
Check it out, old man one.
Buzz, whose window faces Marley's house, is fascinated to see a dude that he's presumably noticed a million times since living here. Thus, we needed to quickly introduce him. Also, either time, he noticed this from the far side of the room.
His whole family has to pay for on the block. Look up the cops got arrested. No enough evidence to convict.
I realize this is 14-year-old logic, but this asshole killed his family and half the block, but there wasn't enough evidence for conviction. Can I cock it involved in this case? Not only is this reckless driving, it will definitely lead to the pizza topping kid don't shoot to one side. Then there's a cheeseless side. Everyone suffers because this asshole didn't notice a stop sign. Little Heroes was the fastest pizza oven ever. Or used to pre-make pies with every possible topping combination to make this arbitrary 20-minute self-imposed deadline. Also, no, and that delivery zone fees like a half mile over from the burning.
Come on, we have automatic timers for our lights, locks for our doors. That's what I think.
Dude, house alarm system has been around since the 70s. Confident. In 1990, Buzz was training that his mouth like Neanderthal. So a second later, he's
Does anyone order me a plain cheese?
Well, yeah, we did. But if you want any, somebody's gonna have to barf it all up. He's gone.
Look, I had an older brother in real life, and he didn't want him older brother things to me, but this movie's older brother is about 3 steps above. I'm starting to think that Fuller is going to be on Kevin intentionally, like maybe early signs of uremia. Yeah, it's a big move for Kevin to tackle Buzz, but why the hell would they leave the tickets and passports out on the counter right next to all the milk? These people deserve the heartache of a missing child. Even though Kevin's dad is concerned about the safety of plane tickets, he immediately discards one of the tickets. He just happens to be Kevin's. This point, I'm starting to think they actively want to lose this kid.
I went to the brother.
Still pizza. Most, if not all, of the pizza was on but spilled milk that everyone freaked out over. Rather than take the opportunity to come back to the kitchen in case more in the house, Harry is merely hanging out, shooting with the pizza guy at the entrance. So we're in the internet, there must be some erotic fan fiction about Kevin's mom and the pizza delivery dude. My childhood by Googling it.
The PO? Fine. Put it somewhere else.
Kevin's last ditch attempt to avoid boy being John is the main reason he's forgotten in the morning. McAllister's left to use their most terrifying Santa as the front door. His clock literally has battery backup written on it. It goes off immediately when the power is knocked out. Setting. That's for not for me on the door, waking no one. Decided to try the unaffected doorbell. Okay, one of them leave the power outage was when the parents go to sleep. But there are 15 people in this house. Not one of them is a light sleeper or an early riser.
How fast does this thing go?
We needed something besides Better McAllister's getting ready to put it into the cutscene, so they went to this non-hilarious nosy neighbor kid, Bravo movie. The kid from across the street doesn't get home alone by his family, even though he's left the house. His parents actually care about it.
1, 2, 11, 5, 9, 10, 11.
Heather did actually come up with the right number of kids, but counts herself at number 3, and again at the end. In addition to the Murphy kid, I'm surprised Heather's stellar counting skills didn't lead to more kids being left behind.
Good trip, baby, that's a big friend.
There's a huge amount of things to go just perfectly for Kevin to be left, including the ability of all 11 kids to utterly ignore this kid that's announcing himself loudly by saying goodbye to them.
There's no way on earth we're gonna make this plane. It leaves in 45 minutes.
Frank's an asshole, but he's right. Even with no traffic, it'll still take at least 30 minutes to get from Winnetka to O'Hare. And they are trying to make an international flight with 15 people.
Did you count heads?
Yes, she did. Instead of counting faces, she counted heads, leading to this entire movie's events. Amid heavy holiday hustle and bustle, the giant-ass McAllister plane is able to run right through O'Hare Airport, not being slow. Flight Caroline lets all the family members on the plane without even glancing at their tickets. Kevin apparently got into Mom's Valium supply last night to be able to sleep through the commotion of 14 raucous people getting ready at the same time. American Airlines. This movie is simply expert at taking us to the whole house and showing the props that Kevin will later use, like the mannequin parts. Damn it, taking a sit off to celebrate this awesomeness.
Oh, so we didn't go to the airport.
Kid somehow didn't know about the airport shuttles. Fine, whatever. He's young. Thinking the entire extended family could fit in these 2 cars? That's a bad one. Kevin unknowingly ingests a heavy stimulant and spends the next several minutes tripping balls. A teenage boy keeps his porno bag right at the top of his footlocker. Your mom will totally find that. Hide it under your filthy mattress like everyone else. Future psychopath Kevin McAllister stages a mass execution of beloved sports figures. Well, Kevin's mom gets a lot of blame for being a crappy parent, which is fair. Let's not forget his dad. It's only 12:30 p.m. Central Time, and they probably only just flown over New York, but it's pitch dark outside this plane. Simply forgets that time zone. Okay, there's no way how the Kevin will be able to get from the top of the stairs and out the front door without stopping at the bottom of the staircase, because he would just hit the wall. But that didn't stop him. He would run into a wall, because the staircase isn't in line with the door. But even if that didn't stop him, he couldn't get any air coming out of the house, because there's nothing to lift him up when he got to the first floor. All in all, this is some serious bullshit. Asking this question kind of answers it too.
Number 660. 672. 671. Now.
Miss Roberts' knowledge of the neighborhood is much more interested in why these 3 neighbors all have their outside lights timed to come on 15 seconds apart from each other. It's almost like they knew someone will later be narrating and timing their turn on this. Wait, a pink car door waits Kevin up here, and Kevin hears his entire family leaving this sketchy website I bought this turtle from. Just go all the way. Have you looked on the right side? Discover That's my turtle. Frog protection. Discover something brighter. While Harry and Marv had a bad habit of expositing ear windows, Kevin had to have supersonic hearing to be able to tell what they said. It's the 3rd time I've been tempted to remove the sin just for Joe Williams' amazing score. There are at least 3 themes that are all badass, and it's for a Christmas comedy. I'm getting in. Kate harasses this one-poor French lady. There's an entire bank of phones they could be stalking. American woman steps off plane in Paris and puts American coin into payphone. And guess what? It works. Kevin was just looking all around. He was announcing he wasn't afraid anymore. Somehow missed the old scary-looking man until it was completely relevant. Also, if old man Marley was out and about, was he was next door, should we have seen Harry and Marv just a few minutes ago? We eventually know Marley's a nice guy and all. For now, he'll just stand there in silence, terrifying a young boy. The memories of Kevin's horrific screams will make him chuckle himself to sleep that night. Kevin screams so loud he breaks the fourth wall.
Couldn't get anybody. I'm sorry, Kate, nothing but a bunch of answers.
If phone lines are down in their neighborhood, we eventually know Marley's a nice guy and all. For now, he'll just stand there in silence, terrifying a young boy. The memories of Kevin's horrific screams will make him chuckle himself to sleep that night. Kevin screams so loud he breaks the fourth wall.
Couldn't get anybody. I'm sorry, Kate, nothing but a bunch of answers.
If phone lines are down in your neighborhood, how is Leslie able to get to their answering machines?
There's no wall. The house is secure.
This asshole says the house is secure, even though Kevin didn't lock the door as he was running away from Marley. It smells fishy. This cop must be on Sal Maroney's payroll or something. What clock was Chris Columbus using? It's 8:03 p.m. in Chicago when the con comes over. 3 a.m. Paris time, but it's broad-ass daylight out here. Holden gets out of the ticket. This officer was right. He goes on a vicious crime spree for the next 7 days.
Where are the wet bandits?
Yes. No, that really sucked.
Ransacking someone's entire house is okay, but clogging their drains and leaving their water running makes Harry sick.
Exactly. Weird. Why would you run?
Well, for one, you guys are acting like you're about to abduct it.
I go into the church.
Not cool. Instead of actually going into the church, which is much safer, it requires less subterfuge. Kevin somehow finds an unused cloak and uses that to hide, so we can see how clever he is. I love the attention to detail Kevin put into the mannequins, but is it really necessary to put actual cards and poker chips in front of them? Kevin had no idea when Harry and Laura would be back, right? So he's been puppeteering his party all night in anticipation of their arrival. I admire his stamina, but don't know if he would keep the charade up all night long, given he'll have no idea if they drove by or not.
The most boring street in the United States of America.
Says the kid who thinks a serial killer lives next door. Pizza kid runs off thinking he's getting shot at. Never calls the cops about the crazy man with the Tommy gun that lives in the McAllister house. It's awesome that Kevin's adjusted to life on his own. Why would he have this much laundry for 2 days by himself?
I mean, right now it looks like there's nobody home. Last night, the place is junk.
Maybe everyone's hungover, Harry. And can you get down? Earlier, Kevin decided to open the pack of firecrackers he found in Buzz's room. In this kitchen drawer. His ability to predict what the murderers will do is basically at a supernatural level.
The kids and parents can.
Roll credits. Also, on what basis does Harry make this assumption? He saw a big party last night. The lights came on when they tried to break in the night before. As we see this kid twice without parents, no one sees by himself.
We'll come back about 9 o'clock.
Luckily, Harry will allow me to proclaim this plan for all they hear. Kevin will have to open a goddamn window to listen to it. Jesus, he must have inspired the building that Obi-Wan with this Attack of the Clones. Or something clarinet.
People say hello.
And you can stop being a scary bastard.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, his buddies D'Angelo and Marcus get the nose from behind and rarely show their faces because they're going to die soon treatment. All heroes have these major cliffhanger moments when they totally don't rescue someone early on, so they will be extra motivated. It's time for their comeback. It's there. Eminem gets destroyed at the rap battle moment with more nuts.
Back off, Town. We go back. Everyone dies.
And we won't have this ridiculously contrived hatred for each other that will provide pointless verbal sparring later in the film. How is it that nobody knows that the submarine blew up right after they left? Ruby Jones, right. Wouldn't the captain of this rescue boat say, hey guys, good call, you know, we did. That submarine blew up right after we left. In case you confused it with Shanghai, Costa Rica. Also, in case there was any confusion as to what market this movie is starting, a whole minute of this helicopter taking off and landing, 11 cuts showing us different angles of the helicopter in flight. I hear you get hairy palms if you do too much conservation. Forget that I could give two. That's what this research station is called. I can actually read the big bold letters located on the research station and don't need the giant subtitle at the top of the screen. But good to know we're 200 miles off the Chinese coast. I'm sure that factors in summer. Because nothing sells shoes like putting them on Ray Wilson.
Oh, see, Jim.
Can we stop with this bull movies, please? The person who tries to speak another language but says something completely nonsensical and makes a fool of themselves. All your days are belong to us. But he just said actual words according to the subtitle, so she should have understood all, even if the order of those words didn't make any sense.
When'd you learn how to pilot a sub?
I spent 10 years as a third wheel saving environmental group.
Why the cut there? Why the cut? And here! This is one goddamn sentence. Sorry about being triggered on something like this, but damn, was there something in her performance that they had to cut when she was talking on screen? Did Michael Keaton rig the stage light to fall on one of the actors so he could hire Edward Norton and it happened right there? Was the editor trying to make it seem like I was in a shark's mouth while watching this movie?
It could be a completely new world. But if you're wrong, then you wasted $1.3 billion.
Funny line and everything, but did this guy really throw $1.3 billion at a research project without knowing what they were trying to do?
We don't know the deaths on the other side.
Seriously? They sent 3 people down in this vessel to go through a previously uncharted section of the water? Why not send something remotely to take a few pictures and samples first?
Roger recommended immediate right turn at 350. Severe landslide. Last time I checked, landslides don't make 90-degree turns.
Perfect Court would be amazing in Cinema City.
I have to deal with it now.
Hey, maybe it's time to go back up to the surface. You know, avoid the big thing that did that and what's it?
Keep going 5,000 meters, 8,000 meters. At some point, it just becomes a number.
I mean, it's a number that measures the depth to which at some point you should internally combust due to the atmospheric pressure, but some...
From the helicopter. Let's give it to time.
Good call, John. It's not like there's a timetable for this Taylor is a drunk now. The only dramatically acceptable condition upon a hero can be go worse than he's a heroin addict and the movie's gotten too dark. Take away his addictions, then that person is in anguish enough by the time he killed his friends. Why can't these people ever be working some blue-collar job and living a normal life when they're needed again? D'Angelo is an asshole anyway.
I drink too much, and now you're only saying that because I literally have a beer in my hand. Always have beer in your hand when you like to drink too much.
That's a conversation that happened.
It's Lori, your ex-wife and her crew are trapped below 11,000.
And we could have just left it at that, but we wanted to wait until you told us no so we could play a garbled audio recording, because we're definitely not on a timetable. Also, I guess it's lucky for this crew that Lori just happens to be Jones's ex-wife. Why does there always have to be a connection? By the way, this does nothing for the movie, other than forcing Jonas to come to the rescue, and Lori basically does nothing for the rest of the movie.
I feel I'm going to my crew to give this rescue the best chance of success.
And that best chance is someone who is a heavy drinker that hasn't died in 5 years, and probably has serious psychological issues related to dieting. Surely there are other Jason Statham's out there.
I gotta keep the lights.
Oh, these assholes just remade Deep Star 6, didn't they? Remember, kids always have freshly applied makeup and a high ponytail before attempting any submersible vessel dives.
Someone's in your hands.
Pretty much. Not a problem.
And the brain wants to go away in time.
She does? Oh, it's because she's hot, isn't it?
You must be the crazy guy.
Kids.
That's with a Pilates instructor in Taipei.
According to screenwriters, every time a husband cheats on his wife and runs away with his mistress, it's with a Pilates instructor. It's 2018. It's time for more mistresses to be chemical engineers. This fucking guy, I might as well call this character Duke, who came from his mother's womb bitching about Jonas, because that's really his only character trait. Sure, he does it about face after this mission, but he ends up getting eaten by a shark, so okay.
But the speed I'm gonna have to dive up now from the east and shut down anything that could ice over.
But just a minute ago, Ruby Rose said,
Because the bird will run essential power like here.
I supplied when she was asked why Jonas was going so fast. So if he's already diverted the power from the heaters to get that, how much more power does he have left to divert?
I've got visual on your word. I give you no fight.
Okay. You're alive.
How the f*** do you know that just by looking at the ship? Also, we already knew this because Heller said he still had access to their vitals, which is way more important than your visual confirmation of the ship on the ocean floor. As big as this shark is, how is it possible that no one can see it until it's right on top of it? And yes, I know the sense of being a squid, but she should have seen that as well. Hey, who said he's big enough? I guess the man just wants to wait for a moment, but will serve as better dramatic timing. Probably does. Claire needs to come over. But I'm going to make an argumentative point here. She was so happy she was rescued. And this is her ex-husband. Does anyone remember that she also has a screwdriver stuck in her stomach? Maybe like Jeffrey Bell coming up to Red October and dispense with the whole. She saves the others by sacrificing himself. And that's pretty cool of it. My main issue here is what the f*** is the shark attracted to if there are no lights that don't move? He has a different definition of naked than I do. Something like a little post-comic was eaten by a shark learning to get morale back up to speed. Hey, okay. Roll credits.
Fossil. Living fossil. My friend.
Technically, that living fossil charged the origin and exploded your friend. But I'll forgive you because you're distraught. So why am I still adding a sin? I don't know. So did everybody at headquarters fall asleep with a giant 25 or so meter shark approach it instead of radar? And wouldn't this cause some sort of breach alarm? I think I heard this place was built for $1.3 billion, so damn well it should.
But a minute later, when the evolution came up, the temperature increased by 25 degrees. The shark could come right through there.
This movie is telling us that the man could only come up through the layer if the temperature shot up by 25 degrees. And a huge plot point in this movie is that Jonas encountered a large sea creature just like this 5 years ago in another rescue attempt. But what happened back then to allow the man to shoot through the layer? Remember, this is the first time the layer was ever breached.
What's the thing? To get there now.
We'll call the Coast Guard. It's absolutely ridiculous that these scientists plus the billionaire all go out to when it should be a bunch of rescue experts like Jonas. Like the rescue effort requires all the characters we've been introduced to in the film, regardless of their actual rescue experience.
Sharks have no fins.
That's because their hats are like shark fins. There's clearly no condition to wear hats.
Oh, for balls. Looks like the Meg even scored.
The Meg 4, the Revenge. This time it's unfinished and all this. At least the Meg is nice enough to pop and spin up to let you know exactly where it is. Somehow we have to get this bug made so that they know we can't.
It's only proven aggressive towards boats.
Except this one, because it knows you need to come up with a plan. Also, it's not like other boats were trying to get next to the Meg either. Right, it just attacked them. So they think they're safe as long as they keep their distance.
Cool prehistoric shark to eat our friend.
I guess you need a common man or something for the audience, but this guy's constant bitching, yelling, and poorly timed humor will instantly make you forget that he's a trusted member of the scientific team. It's a major disservice to his actual skills by not giving him anything except this to do the entire movie.
Stop! Stop! No vibration!
Did you not think of this before sending him out there? Movie wants us to believe Jason Statham can outswim a 75-foot prehistoric shark. Not sure if I'm saying that or the fact that I might believe the movie. I mean, it's Statham. This movie is so dumb. Also, why did the shark stop pursuing the boat? It's definitely as fast as this boat. And it clearly has a hatred for boats. What an asshole.
This thickness, it would take 20,000 pounds per square inch. I'm talking about breaking. That's 8 to 900,000.
Yeah, but the megalodon is a shark that they know very little about. It's a shark that can apparently break a whale in half. It left noticeable bite marks in their headquarters glass, like Joe Piscopo's gun and Johnny Dangerously shoot for schools. And while it does prove impossible for even the shark to break a cage, how the fuck do you really know until you studied it?
I've done hundreds of shark dives.
I like this.
And she knows this, right? I get that Suyin is a badass, but this whole time she's acting like they're just going up against a tiger shark. Well, big prehistoric. Can't figure out why at this point they are surprised by anything other than the fact that they're all terrible and unqualified for their jobs and stupid. Ridiculous shark buddy decides not to go full ridiculous and give us an entire scene with Suyin trapped in the shark's belly while inside the indestructible cage. Now we can't get the scene where Jonas comes up with a plan to jump into the shark's mouth and MacGyver some contraption, cause it to go full-on Linda Blair and shoot Suyin to safety. And we would have seen the shit out of that, but it would have been fun. Also, aren't these people highly qualified scientists? You mean they had no idea that the shark could have swallowed the cage, and how huge this fucking thing was? And this was the day Jonas' hand was shredded into a million pieces from the table. Oh, he's still getting dragged along? That makes sense.
Introducing Amazon Halo. Halo goes beyond counting steps.
Get the f*** out of the water! Sink your thing, Mr. Mayor. Movie goes through a lot of trouble. Thinking Suyin is dead. She's this movie's only viable future wife for Jonas.
Another blind box.
No, but Jonas shouldn't either. Unless I missed this bit about getting a degree in shark dentistry.
Think you can use this as your date night thing.
You know, Toshi, wasn't he this guy's best friend? I understand they just cheated death with the shark. This guy's acting like he's gotten to the it's fun to joke about silly phase of his grieving process already. And this guy's totally dead, by the way. In all of my time watching movies, I haven't seen a guy this swallowed by a shark before actually getting swallowed by a shark. Also, it looks like this movie is going with the same plot mechanism as Jaws. They caught a huge shark, but not the shark. And Richard Dreyfuss would be here to show us the Louisiana license plate suit. Also, there's another man. Oh, how did it know exactly where the baby man was? Richard's friend. Look, I'm all for comic relief, but this comes just after their friend was swallowed whole, and the shark is still out there. It's like the Meg appreciates levity and allows everyone to get some humor in before all the killing. I'll remove 100 cents if it turns out that John wakes up with amnesia and discovers he was trained by Treadstone.
You're gonna be okay. You're a good person, James.
Man, everybody in this movie is a sacrifice hole. Toshi, Suyin, and now Helen. It's as if nobody wants to save themselves in this thing. Also, after this, I guess the shark is done eating. Jack doesn't swim back until after Heller is eaten, so this sacrifice could have amounted to absolutely nothing. Good thing these vibrations don't attract the Meg that was literally right by them a second ago.
What happened to your hair?
Seriously? When it comes down to it, John's life will be remembered for the peace treaty brokered between apples and oranges.
Thumbsticks happen. Change your life forever.
Nobody has time for this.
It's not just about the what's most.
Great. Celebrate. I'd remove every sin we've given this movie if the shark came out of nowhere and ate Rainn Wilson right now. Just like the one did to Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea. Not the Meg, but the exact same shark that ate Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea.
Every person that gets maimed or killed by that thing is a potential lawsuit, a potential casualty.
Even if I were to buy that, I'm not sure I do, especially with it being international waters and all, then why didn't he actually contact the Chinese government and make it their problem like he said he did a few minutes ago?
This is possibly the worst moment of my life.
Worse than Expendables 3, Home Front, Fate of the Furious? Yes, yeah, it probably is.
Kill the whale.
What are the chances a whale would just be swimming around at the exact spot that the Meg was swimming? Also, wouldn't that whale either A, have gotten the
populated beaches in the world.
Because the Meg enjoys the chapter on beaches. The old farmer's almanac, just like the rest of us. Being stars, Sean says that damn crap. Okay, but hear me out. Maybe don't tell the authorities it's a prehistoric shark. Maybe just tell them a very large man-eating shark is out there and try not to bring up prehistory with Paul Adams during the conversation. Why in the unholy fuck of all the Vesuvian's daughter coming along for the ride? She doesn't even do anything stupid that saves the day.
How long until the shark is done, Scream?
20 minutes.
I'm not saying they could get all this set up and where they need to be in under 20 minutes, but I am saying there's no way they can get all this set up and where they need to be in under 20 minutes. This dog jumps into the ocean. God knows why. He doesn't even join the party a swimmer and paddles way the out in the water for some reason. I'm guessing to finally be free of its owner. Also, dog is in trouble in a disaster movie cliche. Pippin survives this. Look, I'm not saying it's impossible that everybody would be using swim rings when they swim in the ocean. And maybe it's a law in this country or something, I don't know. But how can you enjoy the water with this kind of ring track? Not sure how old this kid is supposed to be, but I'm guessing he's over. This popsicle is going to taste like salt water on it years old. I've got this theory that movies like Jaws and The Meg were created as revenge fantasies for me. Never got to go on vacation. Because seriously, this guy. Look, I'm just saying I'd be gone. Like, I wouldn't rely on the others to tell me it's gone. I'd just never get into that water again, ever. But these people? Nah, why ruin a perfectly good afternoon with somebody because of a shark scare? He's never really figured out what the Meg really is attracted to. Like, at first it was lights, then it was boats, then it was wild movement in the water like every other shark in the world. And now he's bypassing all the free food to attack the boy in the plastic bubble. It's a f***ing what? You mean, aside from the mass deaths that just occurred, it's safe to go back in the water? I feel like it might be a faux pas to say it's okay after 35 people just got eaten by a shark. Like, it might be too soon ever to assume. Why is this perfectly aligned grouping of people on floats still this far out? The sharks gave up on the easy kill just to go after the whales that are making noise. Either way, this is Whale Sound Volume 2 Ex Machina. Kids, did the Meg perform a sneak attack on Jonas? Because it looked like the Meg performed a sneak attack on Jonas.
I'm ready to fire.
Take the shot! Are you telling me that the scientific research team was given underwater vessels with missile firing capabilities?
Sure, this shark ain't busted.
Car won't start in a horror movie cliche. Reason number many why you shouldn't have brought this girl on the boat. This works. The magic of movies. We'll never question how an expert of deep-sea diving rescues manages to make all the right moves in this unique situation, scanning his damaged underwater vessel, finding a way to ride along with a vicious shark while it rips into it, and getting the perfect amount of time to aim at and stab the Meg in the eye to win the day, and live to tell about it. Also, going into the movie, you think there's no way they will actually give us Jason Statham by himself in the water going toe-to-toe with the shark. And then they give us exactly that. While I give the movie credit for this David versus Goliath moment, it doesn't make it any less stupid. My hands are tied. Sure, this is an ex machina, but I'm wondering how Sudian managed to locate Jonas in the middle of this feeding frenzy and target one shark out of hundreds to save him. They couldn't even see the Meg itself under the water a few minutes ago. Wait, they were saved by the love boat? Why are they even still out here? Didn't they supposedly see it eat the dog? Did the shark just pass up on the boat after the attempt on the dog? How long can a dog swim in the ocean? After we last saw him, 13 minutes had gone by in actual time. Events that took place after this definitely took more time than 13 minutes. So can dogs swim for that long? The fact that they ever put this dog in danger in the first place, this movie for that, but that it survived? Double with this movie. We're gonna later coffee. Puns. Also, I've got 2 words for you, movie, and the first one also starts with F.
Are those sharks with laser beams attached to their heads?
Hey, you want to save money when you shop online? Click right here.
50 seconds of Sony and Marvel logos that are only my second favorite combo of S&M.